मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। So in the previous class we saw up to verse number 8, if I'm not mistaken, where we saw how tamas, so the three gunas, sattva guna, rajo guna and tamo guna. And of all the three, the sattva guna is supposed to be the one which we should cultivate. Because when we rise in satvikam, we are in a better position to take knowledge in than in other activities. So rajasic leads to more of activity-oriented jobs or knowledge, and tamasic does not produce anything. So it is better to have sattvic attitude. So Satvikam also later on Krishna says how Satvikam binds you to some extent, and also what the people who have got Sattvic qualities, where do they go? The people who have Rajasic qualities, where do they go? And Tamasic qualities, what happens to them? So they all will discuss subsequent verses. So in verse number 9 and 10, the expressions of the gunas or the quality of the gunas are being stated very briefly. So let's look at this verse number 9 and 10 together. Sattvam sukhe sanjayiti, sattvam sukhe sanjayiti, rajah karmani bharata, rajah karmani bharata, sattvam sukhe sanjayati, rajah karmani bharata, jnanamavrityatu tamaha, jnanamavrityatu tamaha, pramade sanjayat yuta, pramade sanjayat yuta. So sattvam sukhe, so sattvam, it gives you pleasure. Sattvam in the form of pleasure binds. So sattvam also is of the nature of binding. So anything which makes you happy, which makes you ananda, also is a binding thing. Because when you are happy, you want to be in the state of happiness, or you want that happiness to be long lasting, or you want to enjoy that happiness again. Correct. So happiness also is in some form of bondage only. Happiness also binds you. Sattva guna, even with sattva guna also, this is a bondage. Like somebody wants to does extensive parayanam. In the morning, 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, he does parayanam in the morning. And without this, he cannot live. And it is a sattvic guna, because the sattvic guna makes the person very highly elated and having satisfaction. That yes, I am doing all this chanting, I am doing all the upasanam, prayer, etc. I am getting punyam, I am getting very happy about it. So he is very happy. And he continues to do this with the expectation that it will give him more pleasure and you will have the pleasure every time it does. Correct? So there's always expectation that pleasure to continue. So it is also a bindage. So anything which is binding you is a problem. So all we are trying to do is what? To free ourselves from bondage. Nothing should be bound by anything. Correct? So that's what it says here. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati. So even pleasure also binds. And how does rajas bind you? Rajah karmani bharata. So the rajasic activity people, or if you have rajasic quality, it will make you do activities, karmani. So it will bind you by activities. So activities means any activity, physical activity you do or mental activity you do is karma. So it also binds. But jnanam avritya tu tamaha. So jnanam means what? The knowledge is completely covered when tamas is there. So tamaguna is of the nature of the worst gunas. I mean, we need the tamaguna also. It's not that we don't need, if you don't have tamaguna, then sometimes we don't have the energy to last that long. So we need tamaguna also sometimes for us to relax. Like always studying Shastram in the morning till evening, talking about Brahman, consciousness, Atma, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, etc., then your mind gets tired. So we talked today in the class about Ashuddhatva, right? So the intellect becomes Ashuddham not because intellect wants to become Ashuddham. The buddhi becomes Ashuddham because of the overload of information or the overload of any activity which is there. So sometimes, the mind doesn't function exactly what we want. It is the problem with the mind, not with the Atma or the consciousness. That is also clear clearly. So here, Jnanam Avritya. Avrittam means cover. So, Vikshepa Shakti, Avarana Shakti, we saw in the Maya class, right? So, Avarana Shakti means that which covers. So, always Avaranam works first and then Vikshepam works next. So, first is covers, then it illumines. So, in the case of the snake and rope also, first of all, it covers the knowledge of the rope being Satyam. Then, when the knowledge is covered, then the snake appears in the rope. Correct? So, out of nowhere, the snake appears in the rope because your knowledge is now obscured. So, first it will always cover the knowledge, then it will project an image that it is what it is. Like the magician also, when he does, what does he do? First of all, he covers your ignorance. He first makes sure that you are all under the spell first. He doesn't directly start as magic. For the magic to work, you have to be under the spell. So you have to be first, your knowledge has to be covered. So despite you being there in the auditorium and well aware with all the intelligence you came in and sat in the seat, suddenly now you are under the spell of this magician and you do not even know that you are under the spell. Is it correct? You do not even know about it. But when you start seeing those things, somebody, the magician puts a dagger in the person is sitting in the box and he puts right this dagger there and there's blood coming the other side. So you squeal and you speak because you feel that the person has been killed. And right in the middle where the box is there, he's killing and he's opening the box and showing to you that there's a person here. So this is called covering. So first covering works and then the vikshepam or the manifestation illumining works second. Same here also. Jnanam avritya. So first jnanam is covered. So when jnanam is covered, what happens? Tamaha takes over. Tamas takes over. See, in Rajas activity, jnanam is there because there is knowledge that you are doing some activity. You are running around, you are chasing something, there is an action being done, there is a result being expected, there is jnanam there. In Sattvic Gunam also there is jnanam there. But when Tamoguna is there, then in Tamoguna, the jnanam, so in Tamogunam, the jnanam is actually covered, completely covered. And all the three gunas exist in us. Sattvic guna exists, Rajoguna and Tamoguna exist in all the three, all of us. There is not a single person who can say that I am only always Sattvic, highly Sattvic all the time. No. Even the wisest person also can go to sleep also. Because it's a physical condition of the body. The body requires rest. So jnanam is only in the mind. And the mind also can get tired. After regularly, even if you watch a movie for a long time, you'll get headache. Sometimes. Some people have, in India in olden days, they used to go 3 shows. don't know if you know. Morning show, afternoon show, and evening show. When Sholay, this film was released, one guy he's my classmate. I said, where are you? He said, no, I went for 3 shows. What shows you went? I went for morning show, afternoon show, and night show. So that movie was a craze, apparently. I saw it only after many years of release. I didn't even know about it. But there are people who then next day what they do, I got a bad headache. Why? Because this whole dialogue is coming in my mind. He used to repeat the dialogue bad. So what it means is rajasic activity also is there. Knowledge rises, how all the dialogues you get told automatically. All how Gabbar Singh speaks, everything is automatic. You can repeat everything verbatim. Correct. But when tamoguna comes, when you really want to sleep, then all these things about what we talked about in the movie, etc., or the people talking about, is not known to you. Because it completely covers the knowledge. That's why it says jnanam avritya. So jnanam avritti means it covers the jnanam, and this is called this tu tamaha. I mean, this is tamaha, tamoguna. And what does it do? It leads you to pramade sanjayat putaha. So pramade means it leads you to apathy. Apathy means like you cannot do anything. You just don't want anything. So tamoguna will make you not do anything sometimes. So you don't want to get up. Supposing you say that you had enough for the day and somebody tells you to do some work. What do? You find some excuse or the other somewhere. See, can this not be done tomorrow? I got something else to do. Because tamoguna, it also covers you and also makes you not do things. So tamas also binds a person. See, sattva guna, we saw that a person is very happily enjoying the satsang, etc. also is a problem. It binds. When a person is having rajoguna, when he's running around doing activities also, a person is used to running around. There are some people who cannot, sit in one place. See, when the people are there, like they'll have to literally, sit in one place, don't go. Still, they will go around because they are not able to. They will have to find the way to highly energetic people. See, they got a lot of energy. So, what will they do with energy? They have to expend energy, correct? So, for expending energy, they have to do activities. So, when they expend energy, then they become tamasic after some time. Whereas if you don't do that, then you will not sleep. So, highly energetic people who have got a lot of energy, they are very sharp and they are activity oriented. They need to be always in the middle of doing something or the other. So, Rajas also gives you pleasure because you are busy doing things, you are enjoying what you are doing, you are in the middle of things, getting things done, getting results, you are very happy about it. That also is bondage. Tamas also is also bondage because if you get used to a relaxed lifestyle, example, COVID Bhagavan is there. So there are some people whom I met, I said, what do you guys do? See, the meetings are going on in the background. The whole day from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock meetings are going on. So there are some meetings where you are a participant. Some meetings you are a contributing person. And some meetings you are just a passive person. So it happens to be that 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock, the meetings are such a way that you are only a passive person. So what do? You dial into the call, you put on mute, and the person is already flat on the sofa sleeping there. You are there, Ulle Naya is there. You are there on the meeting call, among hundreds of people, you are also there. But the tamas has taken over because when you get used to the lifestyle, then at that particular time you will feel sleepy. Come what may. So 11 o'clock, 11:30 around after you want to eat food. And after that, whatever meeting is there, you put on mute and you just flat out, you go there. But you make sure that your voice is not heard. So that's why you put on mute. Because if at all you snore, and if at all, somebody hears, they say, oh, this guy is in the meeting. What is he doing there? So tamas makes you do this. Tamas will make you adapt your lifestyle, change your lifestyle also. This also bind. This also bondage. That's why it says here, understand that tamas also will bind you, rajas also will bind you, and sattvam also will bind you. So everyone is a mixture of the three gunas. And for some people, one is predominant over the other. For the person who is highly intellectual, who wants to study, who wants to know the truth, then the person is highly intellectual. He'll spend more time on researching, studying, making notes, revising, all these kind of activities. Looking at other texts. He will do all these kind of things. A person who is not interested in this kind of things, he will look for activity-oriented things. He wants to go and visit temple. He wants to perform puja, rituals. All those things will be there. So they are called rajasic activity. And so the level of activities can vary depending upon the person's position and the level of upbringing and exposure one has got to a particular lifestyle. So if a person doesn't have any interest in anything, Vedantam particular doesn't want to do rituals, he doesn't want to do anything. He says, I just want to be a couch potato. I want just watch Netflix movies or Prime Video. Just keep movie after movie, movie after movie. Just enjoy. That is also. So all these are possible. All these variables are possible in a person, and all of us oscillate between the three of them at any point of time. But it is what Krishna says here is that a person has got sattva guna predominantly. It is a better thing to have than having a lot of rajasic guna and tamasic guna. Okay. So it describes what is the effect of rajoguna in the next verse. Rajastamashribhi bhuya, Rajastamashrabhi bhuya, Sattvam bhavati bharata, Rajam sattvam tamaschaiva, Tamas sattvam rajastatha. So, Sattvam rajas tamascha abhibhuya. So, sattva guna, rajoguna and tamas abhibhuya means overwhelming. So, when anything which is overwhelming, so tamas is increasing or rajas is increasing or sattvam is increasing. Right? Out of the three, which is the most overpowering one? All the three are overpowering to some extent because sattva guna will actually overpower the rajoguna. And if you got rajoguna, it will overpower the tamoguna. Hope you're following, right? Sattva guna, when you are highly sattvic, right, it will overpower rajoguna. You don't want to go travel anywhere. You just want to study. So at that time, you don't feel like traveling anywhere. You don't want to go and even eat food. You just want to be in a particular place, make notes, study, just put your head down and study. So sattva guna is very high. It will overpower your tamasics. You feel sleepy also, you don't want to sleep. You somehow try to be awake. Because that is the nature of that. But when rajasic guna overpowers, then sattva guna reduces. Tamoguna reduces. Then when tamas guna rises, overwhelming, then sattva guna and rajoguna comes down. So they are like the musical instrument. If you want to reduce the voice and contrast, etc., how do you do? One of them will have to give way. So it just depends upon how you manage the leverage, correct? So one guna becomes predominant. So abhibhuya means when one rises, overwhelming. Abhibhuya means it actually overwhelms. So rajas, what does rajas do? Rajas produces desires. So a person ragistic, he wants to do things. So when you say want itself is a desire. So there is an action involved, and see, I'm lying idle, let me do something. Let me do gardening work. Let me go out and meet friends. Let me do this. Let me do that. So there's always some activity, some desire which is there. So Rajas will always be connected with the desire. It will make you do things. When Satvikam rises, when Sattvic Guna rises, it brings you cheerfulness, knowledge. It gives you Shama, Dhamma, all these qualities, forbearance, like the tranquility which is required. All these things are the Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna, what does it do? It actually makes you very quiet. You do not, so that's what we want. We do not want to be overly involved in all these activities. You just want to have a very peaceful, quiet place where you just sit by yourself and contemplate, just do what you want to do. Just running around and getting things done. Right? So we want to conserve the energy. But tamas, what does it do? Tamas, when it rises, it produces dullness. So you become very dull. Whatever I say will not go into your head because you're already fast asleep or you're about to fall asleep. So it is like, when in the school, somebody is actually not focusing. One guy, the teacher is shouting there, like, all those things he's talking about. And then suddenly says, everything went through the class. Teacher says, one student says, yeah, everything went through excepting the tail. So he was obviously focusing on the tail of the lizard, which was trying to go inside a small hole in the wall. The teacher was talking about something to other students, and he was saying, it means a person is focusing on different things. So Tamoguna rises means you do not know what happened there. You just suddenly wake up and say, what? And you say some other answer not related to what it is. Because the dullness will creep in. And you get overpowered by sleep. So sleep Nidra Devi will come and very, very closely around. And because of that, you feel very apathy. Apathy means what? You don't have anything to do. You say, no, you just not interested. So even if somebody tells you you want to go out, no, I'm not interested. I'll give you free ride, no, I'm not interested. So you just don't want to do anything. It is like, when you got Sattvic Gunam, right? Suppose somebody tells you, even for me also, my son will come and say, Appa, you're not doing any walking, etc. What are you doing there? He said, you're sitting and talking and talking and talking, and you are putting weight. He said, then until by the time I go finish the class 9:30, after 9:30 I have to go alone. I don't want to go alone. So this is also tamasic activity because when he was there, he will come and push me out. So let's go for half an hour walk. So there's an incentive there. So when all these activities come, even though you want to go, you don't feel like going out. It's not because you don't want to go, you just don't feel like. Let us not go today. Tomorrow we'll say. Coming to the class also. Today is okay. Today I'm not in the mood to attend any class. So what do? You just skip. And you skip one day, next day it will again become a habit. So I like yesterday is okay. So I already missed one class. So hard. If you miss two classes, it doesn't matter. Nothing will happen. You go like this. So that's how tamas activity works. So tamas will actually take you to a direction of non-activity, dullness, lethargic way of working, and will make you very, very pathetic way of living also. So you should avoid being tamasic. And we must be tamasic only when we want to be tamasic. That means when we feel that we are tired, we want to go to sleep, at that time we should definitely be tamasic. Tamas will come out to you. Whether you want it or not, it will come. So all these things out of these three gunas, which is the predominant one he wants us to know, is Sattva Guna. Sattva Guna is better. It is better to have Sattva Guna predominantly overpowering than Rajoguna or Tamaguna. And these three gunas, they operate in different capacities, people at different levels. So for this particular group, we are here, we have got highly Sattvikam. Sattvikam will work better. At this time, you do not feel like going and doing other things. Whereas the people who are not in this group or studying in this group, they will have definitely something else to do. They will have some activity because they can't live idle. Some watching TV, some cutting vegetables, something, or cooking something, walking, talking, something will be there. Some activity will be there. So Rajoguna will be very active, Sattvikam will not be there. For those people who are neither involved in activity, not doing anything of this, Sattvikam, start studying, etc., they will be just be lying idle on the sofa, call knitting, just enjoying a cup of tea, watching TV, something just relaxing. Something will be there. So all the three are possible in all the three of one person or in different people in varied capacities. That's what he's trying to tell. So what to develop is important. And then it talks about when do you know Sattva Guna is predominantly active. See, till now he has talked about the gunas. Now it tells us that how do you know that you got Sattvic Guna right now? Or how do you recognize the Sattvic Guna is what is telling you. So verse number 11. Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate Jnanam yadha tadha vidyat vivruddham sattvamityuta. So sarvadvareshu. So see, sarva means all, and dvareshu means we got the different entry points for the knowledge to come in. So it's called the Navadvare Pure, or 9-gated city. The city which has got 9 gates. So city is called the body. And Navadvare Pura. Pura means the city which has got 9 gates. So when the Sattva Guna rises, so Sarvadvareshu Deha. So as I told you, the Navadvare Pure, or the body is referred here. So in the body we have got 9 different apertures, like the eyes, the ears, nose, mouth, tongue, touch, etc., through which we get sensory knowledge. So when the Sattva Guna rises, you will be able to have Prakasham Upajayate. So Prakasha means there is illumination. So illumination means don't think there is some light coming there. What it means is that there is a knowledge which is illuminated. So knowledge is illuminated means knowledge is arising during when the Sattvic Guna is predominantly there. And it is through all Sarvadvareshu. That means your ears are active, eyes are active, sense of touch is active, all of them are active, and it is visible through every apertures. So Prakasha Upajayate. Then Jnanam Yadha Tadha. So understand this is called Jnanam. So Jnanam means the knowledge is born. This is called Jnanam. So Vidyat Vivruddham Sattvam Vityuta. So here Vidyat means may you know. So may you know that whenever you have knowledge arising, or when you are highly elated, or when you feel enjoying, and you feel very cheerful and happy, very quiet, tranquil, and you are focused, composed. At that time, Sattva Guna is rising, or the Sattva Guna is rising there. And so may you know, Vivriddham means what? Different. So there are different things which is, and Sattvam is very predominant. Vivriddham, Sattvam. Ityuta means in this way it is Sattvam is described. So how do you know Sattvam is, you're knowing only when you feel you are cheerful, you are happy, you are not getting angry, not getting, restless, agitated, you're focused, you're listening, you're compassionate. All these qualities are Sattva Guna. So whenever you see these attributes coming into you, you're kind-hearted also. So somebody is scolding you, okay, I understand. So you don't get agitated. So because Sattva Guna is rising. When Raja Guna rises, what happens? What do you say? I'm such a fool. You again cross back. When Tamoguna rises, you don't even hear what the person is saying. Because you're already fast asleep, or you don't, even if somebody says, you don't want to go and tell him also. Because you don't have the energy to go and tell him also. So you just lie down. So what it says, when these things rise, when these qualities in you are known to you, at that time, understand that you have got Sattvikam rising there. So Sattvic Guna is rising. So an example as I gave you was that you don't get angry, you don't get agitated, you do not get, you don't have any desire to do anything or great to go out do something. You are cheerful, you are happy, you are in control, you are focused, compassionate, kind. All these qualities which are there, they need not be, all of them will be there. There will be some will be there, some will not be there. So you will be compassionate and kind. It is possible that you will not have the mental stability also. But you will be in a position to listen to people and you will not get unduly angry with people. So those are the situations where the Sattva Guna is rising. So Sarva Dvareshu Dehesmin Prakasham Upajayate. So in this way, the person is very alert. Because knowledge is rising, is able to analyze, able to think, and he speaks very clearly, acts very clearly. All these are qualities of Sattva Guna. And this happens for everybody, even in a person where there is little bit of Rajasic activity and little Tamasic activity also. See, it does not mean that when Sattva Gunam rises, there is no Tamasic activity. There is Tamas little bit there, but it is overpowering. So Tamas will be there, but it will not be that strong enough to topple that particular thing. Same way, Rajasic activity also will be there. So you want to do things, you want to read things, you want to write things, make more notes, refer things. All these are actually Rajasic to some extent. But Rajasic activity is contributing to Sattvikam. So indirectly, Rajasic is contributing to Sattvikam. Sattvikam rises more and more and more and more. Then Rajasic starts to come down a little bit less. Because that activity keeps you busy. So when the activity keeps you busy, then this other activity has to come down and take at a lower level, correct? You cannot have both of them. You cannot say that I will run around everywhere, I'll also study everywhere. It's not possible. You'll have to choose one of them. So when you're in a class like this, you're sitting in one place, you cannot have so many, you cannot run around and do things because it will not serve the purpose. So Sattvikam has to have certain qualities, certain conditions under which it will operate. This is one of the conditions. So Tamas also will be there. Correct. So you don't feel like going out. So Tamas also a little bit is there. So all these qualities are there in every person and they rise and fall depending on the situation where the person is in. Then the next verse, It talks about how to identify that you have a rajasic quality or when rajas is rising. So this is this. Lobham lobah prakrtiyarambah. Lobah prakrtiyarambah. Karmana shamaspruha. Karmanam ashamaspruha. Lobha pravritti arambaha. Karmanam asamaspruha. Rajasyethani jayante. Rajasyethani jayante. Vivruddhe bharatarshava. So lobha. What is lobham? Greed. So lobham means greed. One of the 6 enemies. Shadripuhu. So kama, krodha, lobha, moha, madha, matsarya. 6. So 6 enemies are there within all of us. So no single person can say that I am not jealous. There will be jealousy will be there. Some extent, but the person manages all these things. A wise person, what does he know? He knows what is kamam, he knows what is krodham, what is moham, lobham, madam, matsaryam. All of these things the person knows. And the person also knows to what extent I should allow, what extent I should not entertain at all. Which one is the most dangerous? Matsaryam. Jealousy is the most dangerous, so I should never cultivate jealousy. Or I should not have anything called jealous. Because jealousy is the final stage when you have crossed all the boundaries. When your kama has taken over krodham and krodham has taken over lobham. So greed. Now somehow or the other I have to get this. So when rajas activity does, what does it predominantly generates lobham, greed. Right. Then pravritti arambaha. So pravritti means what? Activity or restlessness. So pravritti arambaha. So it actually starts the process of getting restlessness. So a person starting to become restless. You will see, you'll know automatically that you want to do something and you're not able to do something. So you become restless. You kuti putta punamari, you'll just keep going around everywhere, correct? You see that, right? How they will keep walking around everywhere. They will fume, they will fret. You'll sit in one place. You don't want to sit in one place. Get up, walk again, sit in another place, talk to somebody. This is the way the lobham does it. So one thing is the greed is rising. Greed means what? Desire to do something. And the desire to do something will be always signified by the starting of being restlessness. So when your restlessness means, imagine, identify that you are now getting into the rajasic mode of activity. Because Krishna tells, how do you know which mode I am? So if I'm in rajasic mode means I start to get restless, get agitated, I get angry, I get overpowered by desire. I want to do things, I want to accomplish things. So all these are signs of rajasic activity. Then karmanam arambha. So another different. Karmanam arambha means what? You start doing activities. So when you're restless, what do? You have to do something, or even pacing up and down is an activity. See, even if you want to do something, you want to go out and you're not able to do anything. So you just go from here to there, look at the person there, look at the watch, come back, all activities. So it generates activities. So whenever you see a sign of you are getting into the activity mode, more and more activity mode, getting restlessness, and there's a bit of desire coming into you that I should do this, understand that we are now, Satvikam is coming down and Rajasic is going up. So everybody has got this. Don't say that I only have this. Everybody has got all the activities up there. But what Krishna tells is, how do you identify which mode you are in? And later on tells you which mode you should be in. See, that's the beauty of it. He tells you all the three things, then it tells you which mode is better for you, for the person. It doesn't tell you that you should do it. He says which is better for the person. That's what a politically correct person. You choose what you want to do. It doesn't tell you that you should be sattvic. It does not tell you should be rajasic or tamasic. It tells these are the qualities. This is what each of them does. So you choose what you want to do. So it is he leaves you to choose how you should be leading your life. Right? So karmanam arambaha, then ashamaha. So ashamaha means what? The mental restlessness. You see the word pravritti arambha. See, lobha, pravritti arambha, karmana arambha, then ashamaha. So shama means the mental tranquility. And ashamaha means what? The one who is restless in mind. Very agitated mind. Mind cannot be controlled. Physically you are there. Mind is somewhere else there. Already thousands of kilometers gone somewhere. Ashamaha. Then spruha. So spruha means what? Longing. This is very penchant longing. There's a desire that I need to do this. I've been having this longing for long time. See, longing is always long. Because the word longing itself includes the word long. So longing itself means it is a long thing. So you're longing for that particular long thing. So spruha. So he gives attributes. So if you are longing for something, that means you have got rajasic activity. If you have got ashamaha, means mental instability, you are getting into rajasic activity. It is going to start. Then karmana arambha. So these three things, what does it do when you got mental restlessness? Ashamaha and spruha, it leads you to do karmana arambha, right? And pravritti arambha. So you become physically restless. So physical restlessness, mental restlessness, longing, and then greed. So all these four are associated with rajo guna, rajasic gunas. See, in typical lobha means it is a desire to appropriate something else which doesn't belong to you. It's called lobham. So when they say lobham means what? Something which doesn't belong to you and you want to appropriate it. So it's called lobham. But here, the lobham, what it says here is something about which you want to achieve and something very, very deep desire, and you are been longing to do this. And somehow I should get this done. Somehow I will do this. So that is called lobham here. This is also called rajas, an activity called rajas. Another activity called for pravritti is like, fidgeting. Like a person you see when you go to the class or sitting on the floor, he will do knots. Something you will do. You will either, hold the pen like this. You'll keep pushing the pen like that. You will turn the pen around. You will write something, or you will draw some column on the floor. You will draw some picture. You've seen that, right? When the teacher is going on, you will draw some figurine. Something you will draw. Some star you will draw. Some photo you will draw. All these are signs of restlessness because he's getting agitated. He can't sit there. So if the teacher says you sit straight like this, he will start to twist and turn like this. Kala mela pudvar, kira pudvar, stretch pudvar. And they say, I want to go for water. I want to go to the toilet. All these things are all what? Restlessness. You see them. See, because students come to my class, I see them. Young people, 6-year-old, 7-year-old people can't sit. Kashta. 20 minutes, person, when you sit like cross-legged, they cannot. immediately call. Then again they'll say, what are you doing? They cannot control. Because they are used to sitting on sofa, table and chair, etc. They never sat cross-legged. So that also is important. Sitting in one place for a long time is important. That also is a character of the the composure is important. So all these things are restlessness. Right? And the Arambha actually says here, there's a deliberate, calculated undertaking. A deliberate, calculated undertaking to accomplish a given end. It's called Pravritti Arambha. So Rajasic also is okay, but Rajasic should not be taken to the extreme that you're not able to do Satvikam quality at all. You forget about it. Because Rajasic, what does it do? Rajasic will make you tamasic eventually. It will not make you sattvic. Because you imagine that you are always running around whole day. Going to this place, dropping kids, going to swimming class, tennis class, cricket class, that class, party class, dance class. There's one person in my class who comes here. I mean, he's a very brilliant student. And he comes at 6:30, we come chanting class. By the time he comes to the class, he'll be like this. Sahasra, Sirsha, Purushaha, like this. Because he's only 11-year-old boy. But he goes everywhere. By the time he comes to the class, I feel sorry for him. He said, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm okay, because for him it's also another activity. So the parents push him to do this. So by the time he comes there, he's finished. So even 6:30, 6:40 within comes, he'll start yawning along the road, because the whole day he's been running around, right from the morning, tennis class, music class, then piano class, then horse riding class, then so many things. The boy, sometimes I feel sorry for him. I feel that because his energetic is there. I mean, there's nothing. The boy is energetic, but the thing is, all this activity will make you ultimately tamasic. It'll make you very tired. Right? So it is okay. So you'll have to balance the activity in such a way that it doesn't burn you out. So sometimes burning out also is important. Then now the person stopped coming because he's not able to cope up with that. I mean, I told him, you come in the class and sleep. So the father also said, interest built, sir. I told him I knew a long time ago, because whenever the person comes in, is half tired, he cannot focus, he makes mistakes, then you can know that the person is on the way of falling apart. So you must have the balance in life, very important. Whether it is adults, children, or anybody there, one has to have the right balance so that the person doesn't get overwhelmed, and then they just get totally, burnt out. So what it says here, tamas is good and everybody needs tamas. But having too much of this activity also is not good, because it will make you ultimately, feel tired. Then the absence of shama. So sama is the quality of tranquility. So whenever the tranquility is not there in the mind, when the mind is agitated, restlessness, it is a sign of rajas. And rajas, as I told you, it actually indicates as longing and spruha, a desire to have an object, or to desire to get something done. So the rajas will always get two things. It will have a longing, and it will also have a desire to achieve an object. So these are indications that rajas is very predominant. So object means not getting hold of any particular object. At result, a particular achievement you can call. So if you don't achieve that, you don't want to sleep, or you will keep tirelessly working to get the achievement. So that also is rajasic activity. So he doesn't say that it's a bad. What he's trying to tell you is that how do you identify when you are rajasic? How do you identify when you have got sattvic qualities? So he's just only telling you at the moment, these are all what it is. Later on, he's going to tell you what happens to the person who is sattvic, what happens to the person who is rajasic, and what happens to the person who is tamasic. He will tell you that also. Then it says, you decide what you want to do, Arjuna. That's what it tells. Then, knowing the predominance of tamas is in verse number 13. Aprakasho pravrittischa, aprakasho pravrittischa, pramado moha evacha, aprakasho pravrittischa, pramado moha evacha, tamas ethani jayante, tamas ethani jayante, vivruddhe kurunandana. So, hey kurunandana. So, or the joy. Nandana means what? Nanda means happy. And Nandana means a person who is the joy of the Kuru family. So Arjuna is called as the Kuru Nandana because he brings joy to the Kuru family. Not because he is very powerful, because he is a person of Dharma. He knows he is powerful. He knows he cannot defeat it, yet he doesn't have the kind of ahankara that I am great. He is willing to listen. He is willing, a very compassionate person also. He does not want war also. If you look at when Krishna, he requested Krishna, says, look Krishna, if I fight this war, there will be nobody left. So I don't want to fight this war. There's no point in my ruling the kingdom. He's a prince. And there's no point in ruling the kingdom and there's nobody to rule. All the people will be dead. So who will I rule? So I don't want to fight. So you go as my emissary and offer peace to them, saying that I do not want to fight the war. I'm not a coward, but at the same time, tell them this. So Krishna tells him that even if you go there, they are not going to refuse, they are not going to accept it. But it still goes there. So the compassionate nature is there. That's why it's called Kurunandana. So the joy of the Kurus. Then what does it bring? Tamas? Aprakashaha. So aprakasham means what? Dullness. So the opposite of prakasham is dullness. So when you have illumination is prakasha. Aprakasha means dullness. So you have a very dull, there's nothing coming on your mind. Nothing is striking. Then apravrittihi. So pravritti, when I saw before, was rajasic, correct? And apravritti means what? Absence of activity. So there is no activity being done. Then third quality is what? Third sign of your in tamas mode is pramadaha. What is pramadaha? Indifference. You are indifferent to whatever is being said there. So somebody says you are a useless person. You don't bother because it doesn't. If you respond to them, you will have to do some activity. You will have to become useful, correct? If somebody says to you that you have to do this activity, you are just couch potato, you do want to do something. If you want to be not doing anything, what do? You just ignore. You are being indifferent to all the things you said there. Otherwise, you will have to say, you have to get up and do the activity, correct? If you want to be different, you will have to get up. But you are already in the mode of tamasic mode, of not doing any activity. So what does tamas do? Pramadaha. So whenever you feel that you're indifferent, you're not really care, you don't bother, then it is a case of pramadaha. Then moha evacha. So moha means what? Delusion. So delusion means like you do not know the truth. You do not know anything at all, really speaking. So you are in your own world, personal world, and you're not interested in knowing other person's view at all, because if you know the view, then you'll have to do something about it. So you're not in a position, or you don't want to do anything. So etani means these things. So etani, they're called tamas. Tamas jayante. So this is what called tamas. What are the qualities? Aprakashaha, dullness. Pravritticha. So apravritti means the desire not to do any activity, absence of activity. Then pramadaha means you are indifferent. You are not interested in anything. You don't really care what people say. Indifferent to anything. Somebody is suffering, so what? I'm not suffering. So if you say somebody is suffering, can you go and help? Oh, that is his problem. Because you see, somebody will come and help the police. Call the police. Somebody, let him call the police, or let him call the ambulance. So let him call. So you will not call because you want someone else to do for you. But you do not want to do it. So you are indifferent to this. So callous attitude. So callousness also is another term for this tamas. It is not because you don't want to do. You are just not interested. Because the particular guna has taken over now completely. Like at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. If somebody tells you, come, let us study Upanishad class. What do? No, I just can't do anymore. I just can't take it. Atma, Brahman, etc. at 10 o'clock is not possible. So whatever I say also will not get into your head because you will be indifferent. It's not because you don't want to be. It just doesn't register. That's all. Simple as that. Because tamasic mode is already entered there. At the time, Satvikam will not do, Rajasic also will not do. Even if I tell you go and bring a paper to write notes, you will not do it because it is not possible. That is what it says here. Example I'm giving. All I'm trying to give is examples. It can be your own personal example or work at your office, personal, it can be anything. All it tells you is that these are all these indications that you are entering into tamasic mode. Or tamasic mode is getting more predominant, or is you are going to start entering into that phase where tamasic guna will start to overpower rajasic guna and sattva guna. Then moham, so delusion complete. So when you have all these things, you understand that tamas has taken birth. Jayate. So tamas jayante vivruddhe means what? Very, very predominant. Vivruddhe. So predominantly tamas has increased. And when tamas is increasing means you will also find justification for lack of activity. You'll find justification. When I say justification in what? The other day I think I went to somebody's house, a very close friend's house. So I asked him, how are you feeling? Shankar, don't ask me. This COVID thing has killed me. So what happened to you? So my eyes are burning, literally my eyes are burning. So what happened to you? So the whole day I'm in meeting. From 9 o'clock onwards, 6:30, 7 o'clock I'm in meeting. I look at the computer. I cannot move here and there. And I'm in, I told him, then he told me I found a way. So I told him, how long will you last? He said, you won't last like this. He said, no, I found a way. Then he told me that between 11 and 1 o'clock, I got this non-participant meeting. That means this non-participant meeting is where you can switch on the phone, not on the computer. So you can dial from your phone onto the meeting Zoom ID and you can put on mute, off camera, and then you can just, lie flat on the sofa and just relax. So he says, I found this attitude. So now he has found this particular thing, right? At that time, this tamasic activity is, and I asked him, how come you are doing this? He said, everybody is doing Shankar, everybody is doing this. Why? So they're all finding excuses. They are saying that, my internet is not working, my Zoom camera is not working, or my connection is very slow. So I'm switching to only audio mode, not video mode. So these are all what it says here. When tamas takes over, this lack of justification also comes there to some extent. I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about, I went the other day, example came. I asked him question, why are you so tired? He says, the tiredness is because every day and night I'm working like this. I don't have any time. So what do you do? He said, I do this activity. He said, though people don't catch you, in the office, people are asking questions. No, see, everybody is doing the same thing. So it is not only him. Everybody has got the same excuse of having one. So they all have accepted the idea that internet is not working, broadband is low, video camera doesn't work, so they are relaxed. So this is all tamasic activity, and he recovers. He needs a tamas, otherwise he'll burn out very quickly. So tamas is predominant. Lack of justification also will come into picture. Then, from verse number 14, he talks about the gati, or the person at the time of death. What happens to the person? So when a person has got sattvic guna, predominantly what has happened? When a person has got rajasic guna, what happens? And a tamasic guna, what happens? See, all these things are there in every person. Okay. But somebody has got highly sattvikam guna. And sattvikam need not be spirituality, mind you that. Sattvikam does not mean spirituality and all the time. And it did not be also led to study of Shastram also. Example, like, when somebody is, always busy doing things, and, is reading things, writing notes, or a literary person, etc., researching, etc. I'll cover this in the next class in detail, but I just give an example. So Sattva Guna rising very high in the person, and the person is actually on the deathbed. He's about to pass away. And when at the time of death, when somebody is, they will say, or Kadal Odungo Abdiva, correct? See, some mantram Odam is there. We have to do some mantra chanting at the ear, so that the person goes with the feeling, at least Kadal Odar Kekar. See, his whole life he has not learned anything or heard anything like this. Correct. And suddenly when the person is have got Sattvic Guna, he has been reading everything else. And one guy says, oh, this person is about to pass away. Why don't you utter the word Narayana in his ears? So one person goes near and he says, Narayana, he says like this. So the person wakes up. See, the Narayana Iyer has got to pay me $100,000. See, I forgot about it. Did you write that note? Because his Narayana actually triggered the concept of Narayana Iyer, who was actually owing him some money, and he has helped him some way or the other. Sattvic activity only. But he remembers Narayana Iyer only for the money only. So such a person, what does he do? Even though he has done good dharma, he has helped the person giving $100,000, and for this he has earned Punya Karma, correct? So Punya Karma, what does it do? He will go to better loka. He will go to better loka, he'll go to Indra loka, because he's a rich person and Bhagavan says, okay, he has given so much of dollars, so let him enjoy some punyam there in Indra loka. So he goes to Indra loka and come back again. Again from start, he will again do the same thing. Again, the whole activity will start. And this time somebody else will utter some other name, some Shivaya Namaha, Shiva. You'll remember Shiva, somebody, Shiva Iyer, somebody, or Shivacharya, somebody will remember. So what it says here is that it talks about all these things elaborately in the next couple of verses. So he just tells these are the people who are like this, and this is what happens to these people. Then he tells Arjuna, what do you want to be? Remember, Arjuna is not actually somebody. Arjuna is us. Arjuna represents the common people like us, who do not have clear vision, who do not have knowledge. So by asking the question, Arjuna is asking us, what do you want to do? That's what he asks. So it is for us to decide to know what are the qualities, what quality one must inculcate and maintain for a long time. The one which quality one must not, give too much importance. Like if you say I have to sleep 12 hours a day, if you tell like, then the 12 hours a day becomes your binding things. If you don't get 12 hours a day, means you will feel not energetic at all. But there are people who sleep 4 hours a day and still they're very energetic. They sleep from 12:30 to 4:30, Brahma Muhurtam, they wake up and they're very energetic the whole day. So it depends upon the person's, attitude and what he wants to do or what doesn't want to do. So which you are going to see more in the next class. The next 2 classes we'll see this. Have you got any questions in today's class? Anyone has got anything? Have I made these things clear to you? I hope so. Okay. So if there are no more questions, then we will stop the class here. And for those people who are coming to the Tamil class, we'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. my time, which will be 12:30 p.m. Indian time, correct? 12:30 p.m. Indian time. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tatsat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste. Shubhratri to all of you.